My vlog is in response to Styxhexenhammer666 video, 16 minutes, basically saying that James Damore's memo, his 10-page, what people like to call missive, which I call a mistake, on what he believes is wrong with Google's diversity policy, in and of itself, his vlog completely misses the entire point of why Google let him go. The vlog that Styxhexenhammer made basically says, okay, the memo says that Google doesn't embrace different points of view. And therefore, he's saying that because Google fired him, it was because he expressed a different point of view. No, that wasn't the reason. I want you to remember something. And this goes back to my first vlog on this subject. Before I found out the gentleman's name or what he looked like or anything, I said that it was an immature rant. And I posited that the person who wrote it may very well be middle-aged, white, not middle-aged, excuse me, middle 20s, not middle-aged. I'm middle-aged in my mind for some particular reason. Maybe it's because I'm middle-aged. Middle 20s, white, and male. And I was correct. And I made some other assumptions as well, which turned out to be correct, essentially. I've seen this before. But the one lesson that has to be hammered home for everyone, Styxhexenhammer666, is this. You do not take a job with a company and use that company's material to write your opinions on other people for others to see. It doesn't matter whether the opinion is good or bad. If no one asked you to do it, simply don't do it. And there's a concrete reason for that. Even if the memo were something positive, there's always someone, particularly when talking about thousands of employees, who's going to find something negative in the action. And here is the bad news. You and I have no idea what that complaint is going to be. It's always the unintended consequence. That's why you simply don't do it. But this person, just James Damore, and what you're reflecting is this, what I call legend in your own mind attitude. That is, you struck complete. In a sense, I'm doing it too, admittedly, but I admit it, whereas you don't. You're building a rationale that makes you look good, and the people that you want to oppose, you think look bad. But that's not how it works. The reality is he got fired. He got fired. And he has to hunt a job, and he's under the delusion that he has a legal recourse. That is what we call the beauty of youth. That is, you've never had anyone talk to you and say, don't take an action like writing a memo that's supposed to be seen by thousands of people and think you're going to remain anonymous, and then let's double down on it. Good or bad, you happen to write something that was insulting to a set of people that you work around on a daily basis. A daily basis. That's what he did. It was wrong. Completely 1000% wrong. I had someone like that blogged on my sports business simulation site. They wrote a post that was at first glance offensive toward women. I asked him to change it. He was 25 at the time. He only slightly altered it. The essential message was the same. He did not change it. I had to fire him. He was surprised. But the simple reason I let him go was this. He upset other people. And I asked him not to write it in the first place. He did. He posted it. I asked him to alter it. He did not. In other words, I gave him a chance. Just because you live in a country and I live in a country that prizes free speech, doesn't mean free speech applies when you're doing it on someone else's dime. In other words, when someone else is paying you for something that has nothing to do with the speech you express. And you work around other people that, to be honest with you, don't care about what you think. They only care about whether or not you are a great colleague to work with and that you are productive. That's it. That's it. The golden rule was what was forgotten here. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. If others did unto James Damore or yourself the way that both of you are advocating, I can guarantee you, you wouldn't like it. And you would seek some kind of recourse or action. Is that good for anybody? Of course, it's not good for anybody. At all. What you learn growing up is that you live in a life, in a world shared with others. And you have to understand their thoughts, feelings, and emotions in order to succeed and progress. Everyone learns that. I learned it. And here is the ugly truth. We never stop learning that in life. There's never a point where the stop sign comes up and says, okay, you're done, and you've learned enough. Of course, unless, of course, you're going to pass away. And that's a sad event because life is precious, and every life is precious. But I digress. You don't take a job with a company and then take actions, or do actions, I should appropriately say, like the one James Damore did. He proved nothing other than what I said before. He's immature. He is by far not the first person to come along who has the idea that he is right and the whole world is wrong. There are people around driving taxi cabs now, as we used to say, or taking jobs that they didn't want to take because they have to make ends meet, but they're upset because they believed that their idea was better than the CEO that's running a company. That CEO understood how to schmooze and move with people in a way that the others didn't. We all go through those lessons. And you know what? Sometimes those CEOs make mistakes and they're not CEOs anymore. Sometimes they're male CEOs, sometimes they're female. Everybody goes through the same walk. No one is different. No one. What you have to remember is this, and I'm going to repeat it again. The golden rule: do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Don't encourage anyone to not do that. Oh, and this thing about tech, okay, once again, it's simply you're resting on this tech perspective is simply your way of saying that you are, in your mind, better than someone else who you perceive as not tech. It's got nothing to do with anything you've created or some program or software language. No. That's secondary. Maybe there's an idea you have that I'm not aware of. I'll accept that. But it doesn't make you better than someone else. And if you think that, life has a way of hammering you in place, of reminding you that you share the world with everybody else and that there's more than one way to be smart. In fact, I think that's the problem. Because you've had a handful of people who've been wildly successful in tech, regardless of what the meaning of tech is, there's some of you who are young who didn't get the message that doesn't mean that their walk or their formula, who they are, is the only way to achieve success in life. It is by far not. And like everything that has come and gone, that way of being successful will come and go. It will be replaced by something else. That's just the way things are. What remains is how we relate to each other. And at the end of the day, James Damore did not relate well to other people. And not only that, he insulted his parents, who spent a lot of money to send him to Harvard and MIT, and they didn't expect this outcome. Don't repeat that. And please, think about others in this society. Not everybody is as you think they are. And you're wrong about people more often than not.